Morena, tēnā koutou katoa. Well, that's the second time I've been introduced to you. But I have to say, I was just sitting there thinking, that's right, Merepeka, you've done those jobs. You've done those jobs and you've got there because you had fearless, bloody leadership. Now, I just want to tell you that I sat here yesterday, and I'm not going to repeat or just talk about yesterday because it was a good opening to our conference. And I want to welcome you to our second day. But I heard a few things yesterday, and I thought to myself, no, you were right, Merepeka, in your opinion all of those years ago, that we cannot allow 120 people sitting in Wellington to determine our future. You know, I heard a few things yesterday about, well, you didn't get anything from the budget, but there's another one coming up. We should have got something in the budget. We absolutely should have got something in the budget. We do such vital work. And my expectation is that anybody who represents Whānau Ora, they'll claim their territory, they'll have our back, and they'll be absolutely rooting for us right from day one. That's my expectation. I don't know if I heard that yesterday. I actually don't know whether I should be saying this because this is on camera. And we don't have Chatham House rules here, obviously, with the camera there. But those positions that, thank you for mentioning them, because when you go through life, you're doing the mahi, you're getting on with your work, you forget, that's right, I was a regional councillor. That's right, Women's Refuge, one of the most significant positions I've ever had. Because I can tell you, that position gave me backbone. That position, you just don't see numbers. Well, you do see numbers. But you know, every one of those numbers, every one of those abused women actually has a name, has a whānau, has mokopuna, all of those sort of things. When I stood for the Rotorua Lakes Council, it took me 3 goes to get on there. And then I thought to myself, well, goodness gracious, you know, obviously the community is saying something. But every time I was passed over, other good people were passed over as well. But if you think you can stand alongside anyone else and make good decisions for your community, then hang in there. And on the 3rd time I got through, and now I'm always the highest polling. So sometimes it's just getting there in the first place, isn't it? It is. But the expectation now of people, when they see me in leadership positions, is Merepeka, you will know what leadership is about. You will know the people who put you there. You will understand their issues, the realities of their day-to-day lives, and you will do what has to be done. And it is not a popularity contest. No way is leadership a popularity contest. I'm also elected to the Lakes District Health Board. Now that's a doozy, that one. And you will know that. You will know that. I mean, good people. I sit alongside good people. But at the end of the day, nothing much has changed within the Lakes District for our people in terms of good health outcomes. Nothing much has changed. And what we're tending to see now is many of those people are claiming Whānau Ora. They're claiming Whānau Ora, and they're not doing it well. And they shouldn't actually be doing it. That's our space. That's our space. So, you know, when I look at you all and I'm saying, I want to say to you this morning, it is about leadership. And I don't mind where you are in the organisation. You're here because you are leaders of your organisations. But irrespective of that, every one of us has an opportunity every day to talk about our mahi, to talk about the value of our work, and leave no one in doubt that we are growing the people of this country. Many years ago when I worked in Wellington, and I was at that stage the CEO of Women's Refuge, and there was a governor of the Reserve Bank, whose name I will definitely not mention, because you do know who he is. He's constantly now making comments around Māori. Totally ill-informed, I might add. But he used to invite me to, when he used to have, you know, various functions, but particularly when he was talking about the state of the nation. This is the governor of the Reserve Bank. And I would go along with all these business leaders. And I know they would raise their eyebrows and, you know, think, well, what on earth is Merepeka doing here? And indeed, one day, one business leader of our country said to me, you know, this is a business leaders meeting, Merepeka, don't you? I said, yes, I do. And he said, well, you're from Women's Refuge. He said, we're trying to grow the economy. You know, this is what he said to me. felt like, well, you know what I felt like saying. And that's what he said to me. He said, we're trying to grow the economy of our country. And I said, well, and he said, and it's hard work. And I said, no harder than mine. And he said, well, what do you mean? He said, you're a woman's refuge. I said, that's right. I said, I'm growing the people of this country. I'm growing the families of this country. And there can be no long-term sustainable economic growth in our country unless we grow the people. And they're interdependent. They're interdependent. So, I don't want to let anybody undervalue our work and think we're just dealing with the other people on the other side of the tracks. Those people that we've heard this morning and yesterday on our video clips, they're worth a future. They are absolutely worth a future. And they have a stake in this country. This is their country. This is their country. This is their future. And if there are roadblocks and challenges, then our job is to help remove those. And our job is to develop the relationships in our communities. Now, you have to read the papers. Do you know how many people I talk to? Māori leaders who don't read the damn paper. You have to read the paper. We have a coalition government. And you've got to know what everyone is thinking. You've got to know who your members of parliament are in your community. And they need to know who you are. And they need to know the value of your work. You should be talking to the Chamber of Commerce and saying, one day I'd like to come along and talk to one of your Chamber of Commerce meetings. That's the other thing. I joined the Chamber of Commerce when I was in Wellington. And they thought, oh my God, what's she doing here? And it is. I've got every right to be there. It's about business. We're about business. We're growing our people. We're operating in the same business environment as everyone else. So you need to develop those relationships and with everyone. I'm a city councillor. Come along and ask to talk to the councillors and say, what are you doing? What's your long-term plan? In the long-term plan that every council in this country's just signed off on at the end of June. It affects you. Everything that a city council does affects our whānau. So what was in their long-term plan for you and our whānau, for you and I and our whānau? And if you don't know, you should know. Because that's your job as leaders of your organisations and leaders in your communities. And don't just think you're leaders of only your organisations. You're community leaders. You have a responsibility to everyone in that community. Because I can tell you, your leadership is outstanding. Your leadership is outstanding. You've got here by hard graft. You've got here by hard graft. And so you have to exercise that leadership. It's not a popularity contest. And when I heard people who are representing us in Wellington yesterday talk about, well, nothing in the budget, but your time will come. Our time's been here for some time. And so we have to claim our territory, and we expect those who've got our back to be speaking up about us and valuing the work that we do. The families that we've seen here, they actually do depend on us. They depend on us. So this is not the time for us to get weak-kneed and say, well, we'll bide our time. We cannot bide our time. And so we now have to make sure that we continuously are profiling our work, profiling the people that do good, and making sure that we leave everyone in no doubt. We are here for the long term. We are here for the long haul. We have outstanding leadership. We have a vision for our people, and we are going to go hard. Kia ora tātou. Have a great day.